So a few months ago, I was hosting a webinar on dating for older men, right? And I put out a request as to what do you guys want to talk about. And the majority of the responses were they were interested in dating younger women. Overwhelming. Overwhelming majority wanted to talk about that. So let's talk about that. I've dated many younger women, and I think dating a younger woman is awesome. They, I was talking to Brian the other day about this, that I don't look for younger women. I don't say I want to date a younger woman, but two things. One is I just happen to be surrounded by them. I really do not know where women in their 40s and above are in my life. They just don't show up. Everywhere I go, whatever crowds I'm in, whatever communities I'm in, there are generally younger women there. So I don't know. The other thing is I'm not looking for a younger woman. I'm looking for younger energy. I really respond to open, curious, not shut down, not judgmental. And I'm not saying that all young, by any means, not all young women fit that description by any means. But in general, that's what I like. And if that is a woman in her 30s or 40s or maybe even 50s, that's what does it for me. And so when I'm like traveling, when I was in Spain last year, I got knocked out by this woman I met. I don't know, she was in her 50s, but she just had this flow about her, and she was wearing a summer dress and she looked really good. And the whole thing was really attractive to me. So dating younger women is actually kind of funny because they don't have the same references. As a matter of fact, some friends of mine, their first question when they find out that I'm seeing somebody in their 20s, the first question is, what do you talk about? And I think that's such a funny question because what do you mean, what do we talk about? We talk about our lives, things that excite us, our hobbies, what we did that day, the same stuff. I mean, I do not need to talk about 1980s politics with a woman. First of all, because that would just bore the shit out of me. And I just like to talk about life. And I like that openness. So that said, now, one other thing is that you may or may not think that you want a younger woman. But the question is, is that really what you want? To put that in perspective, Johnny Soparno once told me he opened my eyes. It was years ago, and he said, "Why don't you just like who you like?" And that was really liberating. Is like, oh, I don't have to go out with these kind of attractive women I was meeting on OkCupid back then. If I just open my life up to, I'm attracted to them, and to go talk to them, my life got just a lot more fun. And more recently, as I'm interested in maybe a longer term thing, that I have discovered that because I've embraced I like what I like, that I am now open. I'm not closing myself off to. I'm not closing myself. I just keep opening myself up and opening myself up to where when I do meet a woman who's a little older, I'm now like, oh, now I like her. Rather than I shouldn't like younger women, I should like older women. When I take all those shoulds off, I just feel like I have more flow. Like in LA 3 weeks ago, I was just walking down the street and started talking to this woman. I didn't know how old she was, but she was really attractive and she was really locked in, and we went on a date. It turns out she was 45, and believe me, and during that date I had no thoughts of dating a younger woman. This woman was sexy and interesting and just really fun to be with. So, and then the lockdown happened, and so we've just been in touch that way. So the one thing you should know about approaching younger women is that you are coming from a place of status. Now, if you have a lot of shame running through your system, understanding what your status is as a man, as an experienced man, a man who's traveled, who's had jobs, possibly a marriage, possibly kids, this is all stuff that is completely out of a younger woman's world. And that should give you status. Now, like I said, if you have a lot of shame, a lot of fear, that's going to counteract the status. But you should know that to a younger woman, by the way, to a younger woman, we all look the same age. Anybody who's over 35, we all look the same age. And when you do approach her, the only thing weird, I mean, by the way, you guys, a lot of guys have said, it's creepy, or I feel creepy talking to a younger woman. And by the way, to put it out there, we are not talking about 17-year-olds. We're talking about legal women who are legal to date and have sex with, okay? So no chasing around underage girls. And that their worlds are pretty small. They're pretty limited. They've been in college maybe, or maybe they're still in college, or they just don't know. And if you hide that status, that experience, they're going to look at you like, why is he talking to me? And to that end, if you leave the sexuality part out of it, I'm talking to you because I'm interested in you, then it's just kind of weird. She doesn't know. It's like, why is this older man talking to me? So always defer to a sexual interest. It's really, really important. Otherwise, they just get confused and they don't know what to do with you. And why is a guy my father's age talking to me? Because they just don't know. The other thing is about being a creep. The farthest thing that a man who is authentically and sexually interested in another person, another woman, a woman, not another woman, but this woman in front of you, that if you think that you are creepy, or this is creepy, or it's creepy for a man to talk to a woman, in this case a younger woman, it will be creepy. Your shame and your hesitation and it's gonna be creepy, especially if you're hiding your sexual intent. You think she's attractive. So that said, shame is something that it needs to be unraveled. That's what we do at Fearless. That's what we can help you out with and help stretch out all that stuff that's hidden underneath, inside or underneath. And so I get it. So you like who you like, talk to who you like, don't hide your sexual interest. A no thank you, I've gotten plenty of those. But if you really show up with your heart, not just your balls, and not hiding behind your shame, if you show up, a younger woman is going to get really lit up. Think what a compliment it is for a man who's grounded. Oh, by the way, to show up, by the way, do not become one of her peers. Do not try to dress like the men that she hangs out with. Do not try to act like the men. This is like the old teenagers doing handstands for girls on the beach. Don't do any of that stuff. Be a solid, grounded man, secure in your sexuality, and she will open up. Whether she goes out with you or not, that's totally besides the point. When you talk to, Brian and I were just talking about this, an overwhelming majority of young women that we've talked to and we ask about, are you open to dating an older man? 95% say, well, yeah, of course. Now that said, they may not want to date you. They may not want to date your energy. They may, or they're not actually open and they want to find someone they can show off to their peers or to their family or get married or have children with. Well, that's just women in general. So they're not all for you. But younger women are really curious about an older guy. The woman I'm seeing now is in her 20s, and she's delightful, and we have great conversations, and we have great sex, and it's just open and free and fun. Is this the one? No. No, but neither one of us believes that's going to happen. So go out and have fun, and don't try to be like her peers. That's a mistake. Come from your place of grounded experience. Because if you think about it, I caught myself doing this several months ago. I saw this beauty in a coffee shop, and I was not really ungrounded. I was pretty ungrounded, but I was pretty nervous, and but we had a nice chat, and she was giving me this better than you yogini. She's like a yoga teacher, and she was giving me this yoga girl energy, like, yeah, whatever, how groovy are you? And halfway through, she was giving me this attitude. I just started laughing because it really hit me. Why would a man with my experience and my sexual prowess, I had to say that, would, just because she's hot, why would I be afraid or nervous? It just hit me. So about halfway through the conversation, I just started laughing and just calling her, I don't know, just teasing her about her attitude. I got really free about it. So just because a woman is hot, the fact that triggers us, it almost makes no sense. In fact, you could meditate on the nonsense of being nervous just because a woman is attractive and much younger than you are. Anyway, happy to talk about all this with you guys. Comment below if you have any experience or questions, and go out there and have a lot of fun. All right, take care. Bye.